Today on the channel, grab your We Are Harlot album and a 2-liter of Faygo as we're headed to Detroit, Rock City with the Motor City Machine Guns. First time in the line, WWE Mattel Elite 124.
And the spirit of Ultimate Warrior will run forever!
Welcome everyone, Kyle here, and welcome back to the channel for another WWE Mattel Elite 124 unboxing and review. And today on the channel, we got two first-timers in the line with the Motor City Machine Guns, Chris Sabin and Alex Shelley. But of course, for all your Motor City Machine Gun needs, better hit up Ringside Collectibles, use discount code Kyle, save yourself 10%. Got to get a deal out there. And what can you say? Motor City Machine Guns been around a heck of a long time, most known from their time in TNA, finally in the WWE now after all these years. And not the first time we've got figures from them over the years. And we'll do comparisons later on in this video, but the first time in the Mattel Elite line or any Mattel line with these two figures here. So always fun to get some new blood in the line. I don't care if it's male, female, legend, whatever. It always brings something new and something fresh. So we're here for that. But that being said, when's the next time we'll get the Motor City Machine Guns? Will we ever get them in the line? Could it be a first time, last time? I hope not, but you never know what might happen there. Maybe a Championship Showdown 2-pack in the future. We'll see what happens, but we know what's going to happen next. We're going to do this review like we do all the other reviews on the channel. We're going to take a look at the packaging. We're going to talk about it. We're going to unbox it. We're going to talk about it. We're going to see where it goes from there. I'm going to go to Alex Shelley first because somebody's got to go first. And we got old Alex Shelley in the package here, looking only like an Alex Shelley could look, is what we'll say. Eating up on this one here. He got his name on the side. First time in the line, Series 124. How about that? Elite. Got all kinds of stuff going on. And he's got the gun hand, and he's pointing right there. That's kind of the Motor City Machine Guns thing. And I believe, somebody correct me if I'm wrong, Todd McFarlane, you might know the answer to this. But I think they're trying to point out where, like, Detroit, Michigan is, if the hand was a map or something. Isn't that what it's supposed to be? I think so. There he is, looking like a model over there. Looks like he's ready to go to Abercrombie. There he is. Look at that whimsical hair. Oh, majestic, majestic. And then on the back, same image. Tail of the tape, got the blurb, got the cross-sell. You know we're unboxing all these on the channel. Let's see what it says about one Alex Shelley. From Detroit, Michigan. Beautiful this time of year. Who's your favorite Detroit musician? Todd McFarlane? You're an Alice Cooper guy? Oh, did I ever tell you about Glenn Buxton and my dad and my father-in-law? Heck of a friends back in the day. They lived in the same town and hung out, of course. So I'll tell you that story offline. I think I've told it before. But you're an Alice Cooper guy, huh? A lot of good performers from the old Motor City. We all know that, of course. How about Jeff George, a good friend of the channel? We Are Harlot. Out of Detroit as well, kind of. He's out of Detroit. The whole band's not out of Detroit, but you know how it is. Semantics at the end of the day. Mitch Ryder, yeah, you and my dad would love little Mitch Ryder. We know how that goes with Todd and my dad. But shout out to Detroit, Michigan. Beautiful this time of year. Drink a Faygo for me while you're there. 5'10", 215 finisher, the dreaded Skull and Bones, which is a secret society, if I'm not mistaken, Todd McFarlane. And I believe you're in that Skull and Bones. You're also a Freemason. Well, he gets around. I knew a guy named Mason one time, but now we'll talk about that another day, too. We got to get to this review, Todd McFarlane. Career highlights, WWE Tag Team Champion. The Motor City Machine Guns wasted no time making an impact in WWE. Winning the WWE Tag Team titles in just their second week on SmackDown, not messing around, as he said, not wasting any time. We do get that little thing in here. There's nothing inside here, though. Nothing inside. See you later. Put some spin on it. Goodbye. Plastic prison. We got twist ties. No twist ties. Can this be? We got a rubber band. No twist ties, but we do got a rubber band. How about that? So we're playing some new hits here in 2026. New year, new me, I guess. We're going to start saving our rubber bands is what we're going to start doing next. See what happens with that. I don't know if I go that far, but there we go. See you later. And rubber bands, see you later. Goodbye. Let's get down to Alex Shelley business. Man, oh man. Kind of reminds me of Wes Lee and Pete Wentz or Zachary Wentz. Pete Wentz is in what? Fall Out Boy or one of those bands that were after my time. Reminds me of them. We got their figures first time in the line. Everybody's jazzed up. Obviously, they didn't get any more figures. I hope they don't have the same fate with the machine guns here. Obviously, machine guns a little bit more popular, a little bit more tenured performers, as we know. We do get the exact opposite hands out of the package. You got the gun hand and the gripping hand right here. And then we do get the arm sleeve elbow pad if you want to put it on. And I don't know why it's not on him out of the figure or out of the package, but is what it is. But besides that, we're going to dive into Mr. Shelley here today, and we're going to dive right in. And he's got more rubber bands on him. Why wouldn't he? Why wouldn't he? But we're going to dive in. We're going to start with this head sculpt here. Quite the head sculpt on him. A little bit down in the dumps, I would say. I'd say, why the long face, Mr. Shelley? He does got a little X in the side of his hair there, which is interesting. Another line. I don't know if that's dyed or if that's like shaved in lines. I think that's what that's supposed to be. It almost looks like he drew an X with a paint pen in his hair, though. Wild move, though, but not unprecedented. Todd McFarlane. Once again, Todd from the couch, ladies and gentlemen. If you don't know him, Todd, introduce yourself. Oh, yeah, you're not mic'd up. That's the problem. He doesn't have these mics. I went to this mic system here about a year ago, and it stopped all the jibber jabber. He couldn't pick you up unless you're on mic. So our loss, trust me, our loss right here. Not my loss, your loss, more like it. But I did have Oakland A's, just the A's part in the side of my head to celebrate the 89 World Series when I was a very little boy. I was rocking and rolling, strutting and strolling at an early age, ladies. You can imagine. You can imagine. But he got the good hair here. He's got it all off to one side, which is a wild power move of cutting kind of your hair off into one side and keeping it there. A wild look on him. 2 eyes, 2 ears, a nose, and a mouth, and a very stoic face with a beard. That's what we got going on. We do got some dog tags. I think he raided John Cena's retirement closet on that one there. Probably served a couple of terms in the RoboCop wars, I believe, of the 1980s in Detroit, if I'm not mistaken, as well. So he was probably a part of that. He does got the fur-lined jacket at the top. I'm all about a fur-lined jacket around the neck. Keep you nice and warm, especially in that cold Detroit winters. Watch out for that. Got the vest over the top here, denim and leather and studs. And studs brought us all together, but it was you that set our spirit free, if I'm not mistaken. But he's got the Motor City Machine Gun kind of logo, the gears on the back, all that. I do prefer the plastic over the soft goods, I think, in this instance here. Would I like some soft goods on the top, some soft fur? You know me, I'm here for the real fur all day long. Looking pretty good. Good torso on him, kind of skinny, shredded up torso. Obviously, he's just a little guy, as we do know, but looks pretty good. Got the white wrist tape there. Got a little bit of dings and dents in the white wrist tape. Your mileage may vary. And then the other wrist tape here with the yellow and black attack. Yellow and black attack in the pants. Oh my gosh, he may be from Detroit, but you know what? It can mean only one thing. You guess it, the Machine Guns, huge Striper fans. Who knew? I didn't, but I guess they said, you know, this Detroit stuff, it's too rambunctious. It's just too much debauchery in Detroit. I'm going to Orange County. That's where Striper hangs out, and that's where I'm going to go. And that's what they did. So they're rocking the yellow and black attack here, looking pretty darn good. Got the skull on his butt there. Everybody wants a skull on the back of their butt, if I'm not mistaken. Got some nice black boots down here. Got the kick pads there, looking very good. All in all, not a bad piece of business. Now, articulation. Let's see. We got arms, and they're all the way around. A little bit limited by the jacket, I will say. We do get a bicep cut. Double jointed, pinless elbows playing the hits. Hands obviously removable, back forth, side to side. Head back forth, side to side, up and down. Nice ab crunch on this one. Nice movement on that ab. Waist articulation really good. Uh-oh. We're getting a little tightness in those legs there. He can do the split, but you got to be careful putting it back together. Do we get the Vietnam bounce back? No Vietnam bounce back. I think the war's over. The long war of me in Vietnam, you know, maybe your grandpa, maybe your dad, maybe your aunts and uncles fought in the Vietnam War. And I think we're all understanding their plight a little bit more each and every day. You know, they came home, people were spitting at him. My wife's dad, he was in the Vietnam War, and people were spitting on him at the airport and stuff. He said it was a horrible time. And he got shot like 10 times there. It was a wild time for him in Vietnam, but I think we've had a little tougher Vietnam than he did. Yeah, don't you think, with all these hip issues and stuff? I mean, that's a lot of unboxings, guys. I mean, 10 gunshot wounds. You know what I mean. Shout out to old George. He passed away a couple years ago. We miss him. He would have been a wild one on this channel. You guys, it was kind of like Bam Margera's, remember his show back in the day? Not Jackass, but, you know, the Bam Margera show, whatever it was called. He had his uncle Don Vito, who I think got in trouble, and he died too as well. But he was a wildcat, that old Don Vito. That's kind of how my wife's dad was. He was just like on another level, and he would have been great on this channel. I would have really got some stuff out of him, but he predates the channel. I guess he died over 5 years ago because the channel started 5 years ago. So Getting off topic here, Todd McFarlane. Todd McFarlane does to us here, but the legs go up perfectly right there. Thigh cut. Oh, double jointed, pinless knees, very tight, boot cut. Ankles, back four, side to side, up and down. Little looseness. Loose in the ankles isn't something we like to be, but very loose in the ankles. And I worry about these guys over time having a little of that John Cena effect where they just, boom, face plant because of the shoes. But very loose in the up and down on the ankles on mine. Your mileage may vary. We know how that goes as well. But there it is, Mr. Shelley. First time in the line here in Elite 124. Not a bad piece of business, all things considered. But now we're turning our attention over to his partner, Chris Sabin, of course, former TNA World Champion once upon a time, as many know as well. First time in the line, looking good in the packaging. Just a little guy once again, as we can see here. Chris Sabin, first time in the line, glamour shot, 8 and up, WWE, all the fun stuff. There it is. There it is. And if you're smaller than me, you're just automatically a little guy. That's the way it goes. You're a little guy. If you're smaller than me, and guess what? If you're bigger than me, you're just a little bit bigger than me. You're just a little bit bigger than me. If you're like my dad, he's 6'8.5", he's just a little bit bigger than me. But if you're 5'11", you're way smaller than me. Let me tell you. On the side, Mr. Sabin. Hail Sabin, as they say a time or two. Same kind of usual background. Well, we get the same readout back here. Yep, the Motor City Machine Guns wasted no time making an impact. WWE winning the WWE Tag Team titles in just their second week on SmackDown. From Detroit, Michigan, 5'11". Like I said, just a little guy. Height, 200. Height, how about 5'11", 205 in the pounds. Finisher, that dreaded Skull and Bones once again. Career highlights, WWE Tag Team Champion. TNA, tag title, yes, all day. Plastic, Chris Sabin. Prison. Looks like he's got rubber bands as well, but no twist ties. I'm here for that. All right. Let's get down to business here. 1, 2, buckle my shoe. See you later, goodbye. And then once again, more rubber bands going on. Why wouldn't we? He's the rubber band man is what he's turning into being right here. But now we're going to dive into it here. He does got the same hands that his partner has. He's got the old machine gun hand, I guess. Guns up. Oh, wrong federation. Okay, that makes sense too. And the gripping hand over here. And then he's pointing to the palm as well. They love to point to that palm. And, they're pointing up here for Detroit. I'm pointing right over here. That's what I'm doing. I'm maybe going over here too. Maybe I'm going to the elbow. I don't know what I'll do. But Chris Sabin seems to know what he's doing there. But looks pretty good here. I love the leather jacket on this one. And we're going to dive into that. But first, let's look at this head sculpt here. I would know this is Chris Sabin right out of the package. Very good look on him. Got a little scruffy goatee he's working on there. 2 eyes, 2 ears, a nose, and a mouth. Got a haircut you could set my grandma's watch to. She'd be all in on that. And a very stoic face. Hey, smile. You're a champion. Smile. But I guess this doesn't represent their title win because they don't come with the tag team titles. I guess that's the case here. He's got the John Cena retirement dog tags too. But they must have sold a couple out of his locker along the way. Huge Striper fan. We don't need to play the music again, Todd McFarlane, but huge Striper fan. He's got the yellow and black attack looking very good. Looks like he also might work for Stanley part-time. Of course, he loves those tools, as we know. Gripping hand and gun hand out of the package as well. White wrist tape. And then he's got the multicolored wrist tape, just like his partner in crime. A little wonky on the paint, though, once again, unfortunately, there. Now, I do like the soft goods hood on this jacket. And then he's got like the dragon thing up over the top, like a stegosaurus. Maybe it's supposed to be a stegosaurus. I don't know, but I do like that little attention to detail. That looks pretty good. Supposed to be a leather jacket, but we'll call it pleather. How about? Looking pretty nice, all things considered, though. I do like this jacket. I could see customizers using this with somebody else if they wanted to. He's got the star on the back because he's the star of the team. Ego, anyone? Ego, Todd McFarlane? Looking interesting. He's got his shorts going here. Got a little belt there. Like I said, yellow and black attack all the way down to the boots. Everything else with him. Same articulation as his partner in crime. Arms all the way around. No issues. Bicep cut. All that stuff at the top's the same. Feels fine. Nice tightness in the ab. But the legs is where we have the articulation problem. Smoother than his partner in crime. Dare I say penta smooth. And the real ones know what I mean by that. Extremely smooth joints there. Love to see it. Leg goes up. Thigh cut. Double jointed pinless knees. Playing all the hits once again. Looking good there. Boot cut. Ankles back four, side to side, up and down. Ankles a little loose, but not as bad as his partner. Still the loosest thing on this figure, but man, oh man, kudos to Mattel. Constant learning, constant improvement. Took 18 months, but the articulation smooth as butter on this Chris. So I love that. Absolutely love that. Happy to report that as well. And he does fit on a Mattel ringside collectible stand using code Kyle to save 10%. Once again, the machine guns ride again. One last time, maybe, maybe not, but they're kind of on SmackDown, kind of not on SmackDown. It's a really strange thing. They came in real hot and heavy, and then they've kind of just fizzled a little bit. That's my personal opinion. Street Profits fizzled a little bit. So what's going on with that tag division? Can we get that ramped back up? And I can just see it now. It writes itself. WrestleMania, let's get a ladder match. Let's get all these tag teams together. Let's throw them together. I could see it happening. We'll see what happens here in a couple of months, I guess. Been nice to get the machine guns here in the WWE Mattel Elite line, but not the first time. Hopefully not the last time, but I did go back once upon a time. You guys know I'm a classics guy, but I'm also a Jax guy. And to get more specific, I'm a Jax TNA guy as well. And we did get Shelley and Sabin and Shelley once upon a time there. A little gangly, a little bit big, but they are the Motor City Machine Guns. They're rocking the MC5 on the back there. Oh, there's another great Detroit band once upon a time. You think they ever listed the MC5 outside of Kick Out the Jams? You think if you walked up to the Machine Gun and said, okay, name me an MC5 song that's not Kick Out the Jams, you think they could get that? My money, I'm going to put it in Vegas. That's what I'm going to do. But we did get these guys once upon a time from the Jax line. So cool to see a little yin and yang of like 20 years of constant learning, constant improvement, something like that. So there it is. The machine guns. What's your guys' thoughts? You need these machine guns in your arsenal? Let me know in the comments down below. You made it this far. Don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Turn on the old notification bell. We got videos every single day and then some. We've got more content for you on Patreon, YouTube channel memberships. Your best way to support the channel by now. You guys know that. Sir Paul64 on the X, the _Kyle _Peterson on Threads, Instagram, TikTok, and the Kyle Peterson Show at gmail.com, which is also the name of my podcast, The Kyle Peterson Show. Of course, with my wife, Angie, each and every Tuesday. You can find out all kinds of crazy stories on that show each and every week. Check out the live video. How about the video over there on YouTube? So for the Motor City Machine Guns, I'm Kyle. See you guys all real soon.
Well, are we gonna dance or are we gonna play?